Welcome to another edition of Power and Strategy TV. This is Tony Maceo coming to you live and direct. It is a windy Friday morning, I believe it is. Saturday morning, I'm sorry. It is approximately 2:44 Eastern Standard Time. And today's podcast has been inspired by and motivated by my man over there at View from the Man Cave, my man Frank. In fact, I would dare say, give me just a moment, please. Okay, I'm back. I would dare say that today's podcast is motivated by him because I was listening to a podcast he did earlier. It was about demanding versus being respect. And he made some very good points. And he went on to explain the difference between what it means to command respect and what it means to demand respect. And I thought about a couple of things. A couple of things came to mind. I'm sure everybody in here remembers Baby, and I'm sorry, Baby or Birdman. I think that's his name. I think his name may be Baby. That's his nickname. But Birdman. Does everybody remember when Birdman rolled up on the Breakfast Club? And he rolled up on the radio station, Charlemagne the God, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy. He rolled up on them with what looked like three or four goons, and he came in there and attempted to hijack the damn radio station. And he was basically flexing on Charlemagne the God, and he told Charlemagne that he wanted them to stop playing with his name. He wanted them to stop playing with his name. Shout out to the chat room: Cornelius, Miss Jones, Excalibur, Walt, Joe 100, Janelle Santos, Jim Faison. Good morning to my chat show, if I didn't say it already. He comes into the radio station and he starts demanding respect. He says, well, stop playing with my name. When my name come up, put some respect on it. Respect it. Put some respect on it. He rolled up on the DJs at the radio station trying to demand respect. Baby did not command respect. He demanded respect. And this is part and parcel in what View from the Man Cave was talking about. Shout out to View from the Man Cave. This is part and parcel of what he was talking about: commanding respect versus demanding respect. A lot of times people want respect that they haven't earned. They're demanding respect that they haven't earned. When you see people rolling up on you demanding that you respect them, usually they haven't earned that respect. And this is something that Frank, excuse me, View from the Man Cave, I'm not going to use the man's real name. I'm going to respect him enough to use his YouTube name. He talked about that commanding respect required you to have a resume. Well, a resume is nothing but your work history. So now you have to ask yourself, what is your work history? What is your work history? Birdman really didn't have a work history that was commendable. Out of all the artists he had on Cash Money, the only one he had left was Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne wound up leaving him. Lil Wayne didn't even stay with him. Juvenile left him. Was it BG, Turk, and the rest of them? He single-handedly, him and his brother single-handedly dismantled, excuse me, I'm gonna slow down. They dismantled the Hot Boys, the most profitable crew in the history of Cash Money Records. Him and his brother, through their shady ass business practices, they single-handedly dismantled their own record label. They single-handedly dismantled their own record label. So Birdman had a history, but it really wasn't a history that anybody respected. And then he had the misfortune to be in a culture that doesn't have a whole lot of respect for history. So when he barged into that radio station asking somebody to put respect on his name, in a lot of ways, he looked like a damn fool because Birdman didn't have a catalog that commanded respect. He was asking for something that he did not earn. He was asking for something that he didn't qualify for. He didn't have the credentials. He didn't have the resume to command respect. Now, there was another issue that subsequently happened. And since we're talking about respect, if you want to talk about somebody that commands respect, there is the true CEO of the South, which is a man by the name of James Prince. Now, when you talk about James Prince, to talk about James Prince is to talk about respect. As a matter of fact, Mr. Prince wrote a book called The Art and Science of Respect, which is essentially his autobiography. His autobiography laid out his resume, his work history, not just his work history in the streets, but his work history in corporate America. How he dealt with Jimmy Iovine, how he dealt with the record labels, how he dealt with Don King, how he dealt with Dr. Dre or people in the entertainment industry. And the one thing that I respected about James Prince, the one thing that commanded my respect about him, James Prince wasn't as gangster. He wasn't more gangster on the niggas in the street and then less gangster with the niggas in corporate America. He simply took the tactics that he learned on the streets and he transferred it to corporate America. That commands respect. He wasn't disparate. He didn't discriminate in who he applied his heavy hand of correction to. So, in other words, if you were a street nigga and you crossed him, he corrected you. If you were a federal agent such as Chad Scott or Jack Shoemaker, he applied heavy handed respect and put you in line. Whether you were Jimmy Iovine, you got put in line. Whether you were anybody up and down the law enforcement alphabet agencies, you got put in line. So his hand of respect was consistent no matter who he dealt with. It was transferable into the mainstream just as he had applied it on the streets. And for that, I respect. I'm not here to talk about he's clout chasing. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about respect. So I'm not here to bash him. So therefore, I'm going to stay on topic. James Prince respect. Birdman demands respect. James Prince has a work history that validates why you Birdman has an incomplete, or what I would call an incomplete, or an unflattering work history, which explains why most people or those people did not respect him. Those are two different things. And a lot of people that are demanding respect, they have no resume. They have no history. They have no credentials. They have nothing, but they want your respect. They want something that they have not earned. And the joke is they want respect from disrespectful people, i.e., hood rats, bum niggas, street niggas, thug niggas, ignorant niggas. They want respect from the most disrespectful group of people, people that don't observe any code of respect. Now, some people are going to say, well, don't if you have enough money, isn't it true that if you have enough money, people will respect you? Isn't it true that if you have a certain status, people will respect you? And there is some validity to that argument. People will respect you. It's not you so much as they respect, it's so much as what you represent. It's not so much as you, it's really what you represent. They don't respect you, they're respecting what's behind you. And you say, well, doesn't that translate? And I would say it depends. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. I remember one of the last interviews that Biggie gave before he died. He said that he wanted to be one of those people who he came into the game, he made some albums, and then he wanted to retire gracefully and go on with what he was planning on doing. So that later on, when he was no longer a rapper, he didn't want to be a ghetto corner rapper doing the same thing at 40 at what an 18-year-old kid was doing and making him look ridiculous. In other words, he had planned to move on. But then what he says is, he says when he ventures out to the club, he wants people to treat him, or the staff or the personnel at the club to treat him and say, well, okay, that's Biggie. Everybody loves Biggie. Come on in. In other words, he wanted respect shown to him for who he was as a person, as opposed to whether or not he had a hot record out on the charts. And he said he had seen a lot of rappers that were hot, and then when they caught that brick, when they threw that brick, security at the club was like, who? He said he didn't want to be that person. He wanted to be the person that you would respond. You would be like, well, Biggie, yeah, everybody loves Biggie. Let him in. He wanted to earn that respect. Now, Jim Faison has brought up another name. He says Harlem's Bumpy Johnson earned his respect from his constituency and his adversaries during his reign. You are absolutely right. Bumpy Johnson earned his respect. How did Bumpy Johnson earn his respect? Bumpy Johnson earned his respect through several tours in Dannemore. He earned his respect through tours at Alcatraz. He earned his respect due to the fact that he adhered to a code that people respected. And because he abided by that code and he had a history, people respected him. People respected him. And because of how he moved, he was charitable. He would pay people's rent. He would send kids to college. He was someone who engendered respect. Now, BK from the Rockies brings up another point. He says some people equate fearing a person the same as respecting a person. They are similar now that I think of it. Yes, they are similar, but it's not the same. If someone fears you if someone fears you, if their respect is fear based, that can be a very dangerous proposition, because if they're afraid of you, people generally tend to hate the things that they're afraid of. And if they hate the things that they are afraid of, what will happen is they will move to eradicate the things that they are afraid of. They will move to annihilate the things that they are afraid of. So when they move to annihilate you, when they move on you, it's safe to say they no longer respect you. So then you have to ask the question of whether that was really respect in the first place. Well, they respected your ability to be violent. They feared reprisals, but they didn't respect you as a person. And the much more difficult question is, or when you're looking at this, is how do you get respect as a person? So when you hear a lot of people up here talking about, respect this and respect that, the people that command that demand respect when we're talking in YouTube and black YouTube, because I've just come to the conclusion that black YouTube is nothing but, and Frank, and excuse me, View from the Man Cave said this today. YouTube is nothing but a replica of the streets. So in other words, YouTube, how we act out in the streets, how we act in our neighborhoods. And that's true. That's true. That is very, very, very true. And so you have a lot of people wanting respect from, again, people that are disrespectful. Respect as defined, the definition of respect is defined as a level of deep admiration for something or someone elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Respect is a noun. So now, if we talk about fear, does fear engender a deep feeling of admiration, or does it engender something else? So, is that respect? The second definition is, it says, with due regard to someone's feelings, wishes, rights, or the tradition of others. That the synonym for that is consideration, thoughtfulness, or attentiveness. Then there's respect as a verb. It says, admire deeply. Again, there's that word, admire, as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievements. To hold in esteem, or to think highly of, or to have a high opinion of. When you're talking about respect, you're talking about admiration. So if I admire you, do I fear you? Now, anti-gravity said, didn't Machiavelli say, not Machiavelli, Machiavelli in The Prince say it's better to be feared than loved? Yes, yes, because he's talking about he's talking about the concept of power. He's talking about the concept of respecting power. So people will readily move on someone, excuse me, people will not be so quick to move on someone that they're afraid of versus someone that they're not afraid of. So there's a certain level of respect there if you're talking about protecting and keeping the status quo in place. We can make that argument about this country. We can make that argument about America. You know, some people will say, well, why haven't black people risen up and overthrown the establishment if they've suffered all this oppression? Because, for the reason that Machiavelli um, articulated, it is better to be feared than loved. Black people are afraid. That is the source of a lot of our problems. Is our fear. We are afraid of white people. We're not supposed to say that in polite company, but the truth is we're afraid of white people. We have big balls when it comes to one another. Shout out to View from the Man Cave. He's in the chat room. You inspired this chat, brother. So welcome to the chat room. A lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are afraid of the status quo. They're afraid of white society. That's why they don't rebel against it. They're afraid, and that's what it is. You don't challenge people because you're afraid. You don't challenge corporate America. You don't challenge the people that concentrate the wealth of the into their hands because you're afraid of them. So you start thinking that because your admiration of them is respect, it's really not respect, it's really fear. You're afraid to challenge them. It's like the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. So, what a lot of these people have done is they're afraid of their competition. They're afraid to get out here and challenge someone for power. They're afraid to get out here and challenge someone for influence. They're afraid to get out here and challenge someone for status. So, what they're trying to do is they're trying to impress people through the presence of their intellect or lack thereof. They're trying to impress you by flaunting their words through polysyllabic terms and definitions. They're trying to get you to give them respect due to the fact that they've copied out a dictionary. Now, the question is does that engender respect? No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And again, who are we asking for respect from? When we're talking about dating and sex. I'm not going to use the term dating anymore because everybody knows we're not talking about dating here. We're not talking about dating. Let's just put it right on the table. We're talking about sex. That's what we're talking about. So you got a bunch of guys that are saying that they're good, and they could indeed be good guys. They could have good character. They could be successful and whatnot. But what it is they want respect from hood rats. They do not want respect from girls. They want respect from hood rats. Why? Because they respect the sexual promiscuity of hood rats. They respect the sexual prowess of hood rats, a lot of which is hype, a lot of which is propaganda to say that every girl in the hood is skilled at sex. They echo and they embody the stereotype that white people have of black sexuality, which there may be some core truth in, but it has nothing to do with the color of their skin. It has everything to do with their environment. So you have a lot of people that want respect from women that are the least apt to give it to them. And the thing that will engender those women's respect, they are afraid to do. They're too much of a coward to do. They're not going to do that which allows those women to respect them. I covered this on the last podcast I did, which is still getting numbers. LAR is in the room. What's happening, brother? Thank you for that shout out on the last podcast. My mods, shout out to my mods. Shout out to my mods. I think Devin may be in the room. Mr. Actual Factual say I completely disagree. State your disagreement. Put it on the record, and let's see what happens. But most people, when it comes to hood rats, what they're saying, the term, the reverberation that you're hearing throughout YouTube. I had a guy to come on my podcast where I said why Tasha will not smash you for free. And I explained and laid out why Tasha wouldn't smash them for free. And it was some nigga that came on my comment section talking about you spent 2 hours talking about a funky ass uh, pump and dump hood chick. Come on, bro. But the fact of the matter is, most of these niggas out here got kids by that funky ass uh it's that funky ass pump and dump hood chick. Most of these niggas out here got children by the very women that they're demeaning on social media. That is staggering hypocrisy to me. That is staggering hypocrisy to me. They're going to sit here and says nobody gives a damn about, but it's obvious somebody gives a damn about hood rats because that's all everyone is talking about. Despite all of the pretenses and the objections to the contrary, they are talking about hood rats. They're dressing it up in illusory statistics. They're dressing it up in polysyllabic $100 words to disguise the fact that they have an admiration for hood rats. That's what it's about. They respect hood rats. Even with all of those insults and all of that humiliation, the fact of the matter is, regardless as to what they want to say about the hood rat commands their respect. And because the hood rat commands their respect, they are demanding that she respect them. But they will not do the things that will make a hood rat respect them. I'm not talking about whether it's right or wrong. I'm not getting into the morality judgment. But if you want to go there, if you want to ask me that question, of course it's wrong. So if it's wrong, again, it brings me back to the question, why are you even in her face if it's wrong? Why are you even asking her for sex if it's wrong? If she's so irreprehensible, if she's so beneath you, if you're so much above her, why are you in her face? Why are you on her Instagram photos? Why are you liking her Instagram photos? Why is it that this booty shaker, this twerker, this thumb shaker, why does she have 100 to 50,000 likes on her Instagram posts, on her Facebook pages, on her YouTube channels? Why are the most popular people on YouTube, the most popular female YouTubers, hood rats? The most popular female YouTubers, not the person that's talking about femininity, not the person that's talking about family, not the person that's talking about closing the deal, not the person that's talking about growing a prosperous community, not the person that's talking about healthy relationships between black men and women. It's the hood rats. It's the hood rats. The joke was that even as niggas was on YouTube complaining about April Mason, in the same breath of complaining about April Mason, they were talking about how big her titties were. And then they were talking about, well, you can't fault us for wanting to look at, well, you can't fault us for wanting to look at, you know, a beautiful woman with big titties. Her titties stand out. But I thought this was about respect. I thought this was about respect. It's about titties now, or is it about respect? If it's about respect, why do you appear to respect hood rats more than you respect regular women? Why do they seem to command your respect more than regular women? Actual factual says the majority of black male content that we observe on this platform are very specific. Let me go back up here. Let me go back up here because I'm gonna put this on the screen because this is some bullshit I'm gonna put on blast today. The majority of black male discontent that we observe on this platform are very specific to the majority of black women, i.e., child rearing, courting rituals, mores, and familiar duties within the household. Okay. So, for that to be true, for that to be true, are you telling me, this is my question to you, child rearing and courting rituals? So, does that extend to, if you're talking about the majority, does that extend to the college educated Ivy League chick that's at Duke University? Because their rituals are not the same as the average. Well, you said, well, the majority. The question becomes, is that the majority? Or is that the majority that you're looking at? See, that's the problem. The majority that you're looking at, you're not looking at the majority. I would offer here's the thing. I'll give you your point, but I have to take it back. And here's why I'm taking it back. Because you ain't even looking at the majority of black women. You're not. You're looking at hood rats. You're looking at hood rats. You're not looking at the majority of black women, dude. You know it. You looking at hood rats. When you mean majority, you mean the majority of hood rats. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about the majority of hood rats that you know. That's what you're talking about. So when you talk, because the woman with the Ivy League education, which you say you don't want, you said you don't give a shit about a woman's degree. So if you don't give a shit about a woman's degree, then how can you profess to have any type of admiration for her social standing? You're looking at what's between her legs. You're looking at your raw base sexual desires and instincts. And if you're looking at the raw base of your sexual desire and instincts, you're looking at hood rats. Stop lying about that. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of y'all trying to switch the argument every time someone calls you out on your love for hood rats. And then what you want to try to do is you want to try to make it intellectual because someone is calling you out. You want to shift the goalpost to say you're talking about the majority of women. But you said you don't give a damn about their degree. You said you don't give a damn about how much money that they're making. So if you want women to be submissive, excuse me, then that you have to pay the cost to be the boss. But when we start talking about that, the first thing out your mouth is it shouldn't be all about money. Well, if you want a woman, I'm sorry, if you want a woman that is making $100,000 to respect you and you're unemployed, you want to demand respect from a woman that's making $100,000 while you're unemployed. I'm sorry, that just don't cut it. That just don't cut it. So if you're talking about courting rituals, what are the courting rituals of the women that don't fall into that class? You're not even looking at them because you know why? They're invisible to you. You know why they're invisible to you? Is because they're not advertising. That's why they're invisible to you. They're invisible to you because they're not walking around in a halter top with their titties pushed out. They're not visible to you because they're not walking around in booty shorts. They're not visible to you because they're homely looking. So you can't have it both ways. You cannot turn around. You cannot turn around and say, well, I'm talking about black women. And then when someone brings up a sizable sector of black women, and you say, well, I'm not talking about those women because they do nothing for my dick. Well, who does something for your dick? It's the very women you ridicule. And then you turn around and say, well, I'm not talking. The fuck you are not. You are talking to those women. You are talking to those women. There's no misunderstanding. I understand you perfectly. You just want to double talk because when people figure out who you're really talking to, your argument is down the drain. You don't have an argument. Your argument is narrow. Here we go. As a black man who is married to a black woman, and AKA of a D1 school, I don't know what D1 is, so you have to tell me that. The very qualities that brothers are describing, I have personally deserved. Okay, what is I guess that means Division One. The very qualities they're observing hood rats. That's my point. The brothers who are talking about the qualities or you that you have observed. These are the brothers that are fucking around with hood rats. That's who you're talking about. You're talking about hood rats. That's who you're talking about. They're observing hood rats. And the reason they're observing hood rats is because hood rats are advertising. If you like hood rats, it's wonderful. I'm not castigating you for liking hood rats. The only thing I'm saying is explain who you're talking about here. And if you say, well, they do nothing for me, well, if they do nothing for you, then by definition, the hood rats do. So if you're not willing to compete in that sector of women, then what is your beef? If they're so far below you, why is your constant conversation about them? Why is your constant conversation about women that you have no interest in? Because the truth is, you do have an interest in them. You do like those women. And I'm just asking you to be honest about what it is you really want. But you will be dishonest about what you really want. And that's why you don't command my respect. That's why you cannot command my respect because I know you're being hypocritical. I know that you're lying. That's why I don't respect your argument because I know you're lying. If you bear out the facts of your argument, you will see that it's a lie. You will come to the conclusion that it's a lie. He says here to be clear, I'm not one of those brothers saying that I want 50-50 relationships. Well, one thing, if you're with a hood rat and you're not attracted to her, you're not going to be in a 50-50 relationship. If you're in a hood rat that is not, if you're in a relationship or you're dealing with the hood rat that's not attracted to you, you're going to pay 100% of the cost. It may not be much. I'm not saying it's going to be a whole lot of money, but whatever she asks for, she ain't going to call you and ask for, hey, if she's calling and asking, she's going to say, well, look, I'm such and such short I'm $200 short of my rent. If she's $200 short of her rent, she's not going to ask you for 50% of $200. She want $200. Women don't do 50-50 relationships with niggas they're not attracted to. That's my point. Women will not do 50-50 relationships with men they're not attracted to. That's why I told you to shut up and pay for it. You want that submission, you want that deference. That's going to cost you. If you are a man of good character, then you demonstrate that good character by your actions. Respect is also a verb. You have to do something worthy of admiration. So, talking to them and humiliating them does not engender or command their respect. And let me get on this. Let me get on this. He says, Mr. Let's Get Away, whoever this faceless wonder is, he says, ain't gonna say no names, but how you hustling these women trying to teach them to be feminine at 30 years old, man, that damn boat done left. Now, that doesn't command respect. That is quite cowardly, because one of the main criticisms is that these women are not feminine. Their attitudes are nasty. It is disrespectful. Their mouths are slick. So here is a man whining like a woman while wanting respect and femininity from a woman. Here's a person wanting someone to respect him while doing everything that is not commendable or worthy of respect. He is demanding respect from someone, and he doesn't have the history to demand that respect. He doesn't have the resume to demand that respect. But here you are in my chat room trying to shoot shots at another woman. Here you are in my chat. First of all, I'm not going to allow that. But second of all, that does not demand respect. You say you want femininity, but when somebody teaches femininity, you're attacking the person that teaches femininity. So what that tells me is you don't respect femininity. You know what you respect? You respect hood rats. That's what you want. You want a hood rat. You just don't have the balls to say that you want a hood rat. You like hood rats. So rather than attacking the nameless, faceless YouTuber who you ain't saying no names for, just come out and say you like hood rats. No, I don't care, bro. I travel like a if you were traveling, you wouldn't be in my goddamn chat room talking about another woman. You ain't traveling. You ain't got no passport. You at home in your basement right now trying to throw shade. You at home in your basement trying to throw shade. What you trying to do is attach your struggle and attach your swag onto niggas that are really successful. You see, Dennis Sperling is not in my chat room. Do you know why Dennis Sperling is not in my chat room? Because Dennis Sperling is in Colombia right now with two big booty Latino bitches having the time of his life while you sitting in my chat room trying to attack a female that's trying to teach women to level up. Does that command respect? No, bro, I really do travel like that. No, bro, I really do. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you did, you would be somewhere getting your dick sucked right now. If you did, you would be somewhere fucking right now. You wouldn't be sitting here fucking with somebody who don't even know your name. You wouldn't be sitting here with a faceless avatar trying to call somebody out who could give a damn about you. No, You're not traveling anywhere. Bro, I've been to Colombia. Call the you ain't been nowhere. Anybody can get on here and say what they do. Nigga, unless we know, unless you got receipts and unless you're willing to provide receipts, shut the fuck up about what you've done. Shut the fuck up about where you've been if you're not willing to get down with receipts. Nobody wants to hear your imaginatory conquests. Nobody wants to hear your that's what hood bitches do. Coming back to hood, that's what hood bitches do. Hood bitches sit up and tell you about how high powered they are, about how their credit score, about how high their credit scores are, about what kind of degrees they got. They got master's degrees, they're educated, they're in law school, and then they'll turn around and tell you that they want to become a model too. So here you in law school and you want to be a booty model. That's what these niggas do. That's what these niggas do. These niggas do the same shit. They come up here and talk about how high powered they are. What they're doing is they get next to niggas that are really high power and appropriate their achievements, appropriate their flag, and attach it to themselves. These niggas are marrying bitches out of massage parlors. That's where they getting women from. These niggas are losing their women to their supervisors. They ain't even losing them to thugs. They're losing them to their supervisors. They're losing them to their bosses. Quiet as it's kept, they losing they bitches to other bitches. It ain't got nothing to do with the black community. These niggas just lost. My brother LAR is in the chat room when he was talking about last night being honest. You got a lot of average niggas wanting above average women. But then when they're confronted with above average women, the only thing they're talking about are the below average bitches. You're talking about below average because you are below average. That's the real truth. You are a nigga that is below average. That's what it is. You are a nigga that is below average. And because you are below average, you're mad that below average is your motherfucking ceiling. That's what it is. The hood rat is your ceiling. It's time for you to deal with that. The hood rat is your ceiling. That is as high as you're going to go. And you're mad that she won't even take your ass with 4 children on Section 8. And she doesn't have a pack of ramen noodles in her motherfucking cabinet. She won't take you. But you feel that you entitled to her pussy because you got a job. Your ceiling don't even want you. That's what you mad about. Man of means. You ain't no damn man of means. Most of these niggas are getting by on SSI pensions. Talking about they men of means. They getting around on unemployment checks. They balling on unemployment compensation. Your name should be Bone Thugs and Harmony because you come up on the first of the month. Wake up, get up. It's the first of the month. You are first of the month baller. Bitches holler at you on the 30th and the 1st. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's why you are so upset about the hood rats. Because on the 1st of the month, the hood rat has a plethora of choices. And you fucked up because you may or may not be one of them. Or if you got her pregnant on the 1st of the month, you will be one of them. That's what this is about. That's right, Reggie. First of the month ballers. That's exactly what they are. First of the month ballers. That's who you are. You to my I ain't gonna say no names. I'm saying names. I'm saying your name. And all niggas like you. And I'm talking to the ones that I know that are listening to me. I hear you. Even when you in your safe spaces, I hear you. Just know that I hear you. So when we talking about respect, as View from the Man Cave said so eloquently, You can command or demand it. The niggas that are trying to demand respect haven't earned it. They don't have a resume. They don't have a work history. They don't have any accomplishments. And then a lot of niggas will make up their accomplishments. They will make up their accomplishments. Well, I'm a success because yada, yada, yada. I'm a success because I spent 30 years. How is that any different than what someone else's father or grandma? Nigga, that's normal. Chris Rock said the niggas always want some type of achievement for doing some shit they supposed to do. They always want they want credit for some shit what do you want, a cookie? Yeah, these niggas want a cookie for some shit that they supposed to do. That's what it is. They want a cookie for doing some shit they supposed to do. You up here screaming that you above average for doing average shit. Some shit motherfuckers back in Jim Crow did. You want some credit for some shit that baby boomers have done. They're famous for that. He says black men not being economically secure. Isn't that what black men, I guess he means black women, been complaining about for the last 50 years? Yes, is what they've been complaining about. The women that are not with black men are complaining about that. The women that have lost in the dating market are complaining about that. When you hear these complaints, consider the source. Look at them, and that tells you all you need to know. And they'll say, well, I'm talking to the ones that are echoing the loudest. Motherfucker, the ones that are echoing the loudest are the losers. The winners are not saying a word. The winners are silent. Losers have a bullhorn. Winners have laryngitis. You're not going to hear a sound from the people that are winning. You ain't going to hear shit from people that are winning. The people that are whining are the people that have lost. They're the women that have lost in the dating pool. Those are the ones that are whining. They're talking about, I take care of my kids, nigga. That's what you're supposed to do. Walt said, who would be considered the winners in this case? Well, since we talking about the hookup culture, the winners in the hookup culture are the niggas that are overseas, right? They're the ones in the foreign country, right? They're the winners. They had the money to quote unquote leave the matrix. They would be the winners. So if you stuck here with child support cases out the ass, here with women, here with children by women you don't want to be with, by definition, you the loser. The bitch you got which was a loser. Water seeks its own level. So if you want to know what a winner is, when you want to know what a winner is, it's the niggas that ain't even here. Because the dudes of means, the dudes that have money, they don't have a problem with women. You don't hear them complaining. And the women that got niggas that's worth a damn, you don't hear them complaining either. The only women you hear complaining are the women that have lost in the dating market. Those are the people you hear complain. The losers are the ones that are yelling the loudest. That applies to both male and female. Now, some people are going to say, well, can't you critique female nature? Of course you can critique female nature. But the question is what do you do about it? Well, I don't want to do anything about it. I don't want to do anything about it. I don't want to do anything about it. Okay, well, how long do you expect motherfuckers to listen to you? Isn't that what women do, by the way? Don't women just sit up and cry and complain on? Isn't that a female trait, by the way? Isn't that what women do? Isn't that what women do? Isn't that what women do? If you're going to win, you get up and win. That's what people do. You get up and win. You don't lay down and complain. He says, well, the so-called losers have been given a war chest of national airtime for the last 35 years. Oprah, Essence, Steve Harvey, and the dating mag. Well, see, the problem is they're not losers. Oprah's not whining on behalf of black women. Oprah is using black women's pain to come up. Oprah's hustling. So Oprah's not a loser. That's not correct. Oprah's a billionaire. There's nothing about that that says loss. Nice try. Essence Magazine, the same thing. That's a business. That's not a loss. That's not a whine. It's a magazine. They are in the business of making money. Steve Harvey has been married 2 or 3 times. He's not whining. Steve Harvey can have a bitch tomorrow. Steve Harvey somewhere getting his dick sucked right now. All these people you talking about, they have already won. They've already beat the system. No, they're not winners. Excuse me. No, they're not losers. I'm sorry. Check that. They're not losers. They've already won. They're making money off trying to help the losers. They're hustling the losers. The winners are hustling the losers. So here we are. We can't even tell the difference between the winners and the losers anymore. He says, no, men of means have standards and don't have a problem with voicing. No, the men of means are not saying shit. The men of means went to go get what they wanted. They're not voicing anything about any standards. They're in Colombia. Dennis Sperling is not in the States right now. He ain't voicing a motherfucking thing. He down there chilling, putting up pictures of his bitches on Facebook. He ain't voicing shit. He got his 2 sons down there in Columbia. He ain't got nothing to say. He says his little things. He gives his critiques. Don't get me wrong. He gives his critiques, but he's showing you a picture of a big booty bitch. He putting up receipts. See, winners put up receipts. They don't have to voice their requirements. They display receipts. That's the difference between the two. In reference to the audience they cater to. Damn right, in reference to they're catering to the losers. They're making money off the losers. They're making money off the niggas that are whining. They're making money off the women that are whining. Cater. Cater, they're making money. It's a hustle. It's a come up. Derrick Jackson makes money off of women whining. Yeah, you got it right. Dennis is balling. Dennis is balling. That's the whole point. He's balling. He's won. You ball when you win. Balling is a privilege reserved for niggas who win. Niggas who win are balling. They're not voicing their standards. They've won. Women that are attractive know what the standard is for a successful man. That doesn't have to be communicated. See, there's a saying in the street that goes, what's understood does not have to be explained. Winners don't spend time explaining what their standards are. The females know what their standards are. That's why they're there in the first place. They know what their standards are. So, yes, actual facts. Dennis is balling. He's balling because he is a winner. He did something called win. And because he won, he commands this little thing called respect. Whiners, whine about what goes on in my chat room while not paying attention to what's going on their channels. That's what losers do. Losers pay attention to what's going on in somebody else's house. They don't pay attention to what's going on in theirs. Losers think that they have the right to tell people what to say on their shit. That's what losers do. Losers steal material, misappropriate material, and try to put it out as theirs. Losers swagger jack without apology or hesitation. That's what losers do. So you have another question here. You say, how do we explain black men across the Western Empire having the same experiences with black women? How do you explain that? There's that again, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. You dealing with hood rats. The question is where do these men come from? And where do the women come from who they're having these experiences with? And every man that has had these experiences, I guarantee you they've had these experiences with. And I'm not shitting on hood rats. Let me be clear about that. I'm not shitting on hood rats. Actually, I'm not shitting on anybody. I'm just explaining all these dudes that have had this complaint with black women. They have this complaint with black women because the women that they want are out of their pay grade. That's why. They can't even afford the women that they're complaining about. That's why. They can't afford the women that's why. Because if you want these eights, nines, and tens, and you don't have eights, nines, and tens belong to the game. Shout out to Donovan Sharp. If you don't have what it takes to pull a 8, 9, and 10, that's why they have that experience. Making a realistic appraisal of yourself is never going to be substituted by dragging them down. Because again, they ain't coming in your face asking for shit. They ain't coming in your face asking, they ain't even coming in your face asking you for money. You're coming in their face asking for booty. And since they wouldn't be attracted to you normally, since you're somebody they wouldn't normally deal with, they want some money from you. So now you in my face, you balling, you collar popping, you flashing your pinky rings. I want some money. If this is who you say you are, nigga, show it. Show it. But you don't want to do that, do you? You don't want to do that. So what you want to do something that is disrespectful. What you want to do is flash in the bitch's face to try to con her out of sex for free. What you want to do is tease a bitch with a bag you don't even have. Most of these niggas that are talking this shit about being successful, they're successful. It's window dressing. White folks already know, and what they say is true. It may be stereotypical, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. Most of these niggas that are dressing flashy, they're broke. Their dress code is a costume. They're trying to disguise the fact that they're broke. They're trying to do the fake it till you make it scam. They're gonna come around you dressed up with a high-powered iPhone, but they ain't got nothing for you. They ain't got nothing for you. They got 75 too. They're just trying to make you think they got more than 75. A lot of times they don't even have the 75. They just want to dress like they want to look the part. But when it comes time to them being the part and showing and proving, that's where they're going to fall apart. They're going to fall apart every time when it comes to showing and proving. They're going to fall apart every time when it comes to showing and proving. When it's time for you to really fess up and show, then it's going to be all kind. Well, what you got to see that for? What you need to see that for? That's not your concern. Just know that I got it. Don't question me, because he ain't got it. He ain't got it. They're trying to make you think that they have it, but they don't have it. They don't have it because here's the truth: people that have it will never flash it. Frank Lucas was right. The loudest one is the weakest one. The nigga that is the loudest one, he is poverty. He is advertising his deprivation. The nigga that's telling you he got it, he don't have it. The niggas that are telling you that they're successful, they're not. Those who know don't talk, and those who talk really don't know. Tune in to go. I challenge you. Tune in to Sperling. I'm using him because he's the one that I know. Go to Sperling's videos and listen as Sperling is talking in his podcast and look at the background that he's speaking from. Those are not props. Those are not props. That shit is live. That shit is live. That's right, Cornelia. Agreed. Wealth whispers, poverty screams. Exactly. And if you think you're going abroad, you think you're going abroad, and then that's what they want to do. A lot of them say, well, they're going abroad. Well, if you go abroad, you're going to spend more than 75. Do you think Mei Ling and Marisol are going to lay up with you for 75? But you willing to give them the 75. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. There's something wrong with your mathematics. You will get a passport, spend thousands of dollars on an airplane ticket, excuse me. You will spend thousands of dollars on an airplane ticket, spend another thousand on accommodations, just to trick with someone that is going to require more than $75. But you seem to have a problem staying in the hood, tricking with the hood bitch for $75. Do you really think that those women over there aren't single mothers? Do you really think they haven't produced any trick babies? So you left from tricking with big booty Keisha to go overseas and trick with raisin titty Renita. That's what you did. That's what you did. You left from one hood and went to the, no, it's not a hood. No, stop it, nigga. You went to the hood in the Dominican Republic. You went to the hood in Bolivia. You went to the hood in Colombia. You went to the hood wherever, and you got a flat chested Asian. And you played a flat chested Asian more money than you would pay a big booty bitch right up the block from you. But you don't want to talk about that, do you? You don't want to talk about that. No, no one ever wants to talk about that. No one ever wants to talk about that. They just want to threaten you with the fact that they're leaving. They want you to see the fact that they stuck their lip out. They're pouting. They stuck their lip out. They're pouting with you. And then have the nerve to be talking about negotiate. Negotiate with what, nigga? You ain't got shit. Negotiate with what? Come back to the table and negotiate with what? The niggas that got everything are gone. You don't represent them. You got a hollow constituency. Come to the table and negotiate with what? Subscribers? You want them to come to the table and bargain with you over subscribers? Negotiate. Come to the table and horse trade. The niggas that have something have already left. They're not even at the bargaining meeting. They left the union meeting before it got started. Matter of fact, they ripped up their union cards. They're already gone. Bargain with you for what? You don't have anything. You have nothing. come to the table and bargain. You don't even have a 401k plan. You don't even have a 401k plan. And you want to talk about come to the table and bargain. Bargain with you for what? For what? Bargain with you for what? For security. Let's see this security. Show your receipts. Show your receipts. But when somebody asks you to show and prove, all you hover, all you got is lip when they ask you to show and prove. You always got some obfuscation. You always got some circumlocution, some double talk when they ask you to produce. You can't produce. You're a fraud. They know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. You're a fraud trying to defraud some other women out of some free pussy. That's what this is. That's why they're not negotiating with you. They're not listening to you. They ignore you. Oh, yes, Walt, you absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Lloyd. You're absolutely right, Walt. I've been saying this for years. Filipinas get gangs. Filipinas got games. So many guys I'm stationed with bring back a Filipino wife back here and they get cleaned out the next deployment. So you went and tricked with a flat chested, flat booty Philippine just to get conned in divorce court. You know how many times I saw that happen? They bring these women back in. Now, when they run up on these women, they know speaking no English, no hablo español. They get back to this bitch, they know the word divorce and they know the word half. They know they don't speak no English, goddamn, but they know half and they know divorce and they know pension. They know enough English to get a job at the goddamn exchange and live off your money. But you went abroad, right? You went abroad, right? The men that really went abroad, they never came back. You don't hear from those guys. You don't see those guys. And you're not going to see those guys. You will never see those guys. And that's why they're not here talking about black women because they're not even anywhere close to a black woman. They're not even thinking about black women. The only one that's thinking about black women is you. You're here in my chat room talking about black women. The only person that's concerned about a black woman, and you ain't even concerned about black women, you concerned about hood rats. That's what you're concerned about. So now the question is, he says, shouldn't we be alarmed that the upwardly mobile brothers are leaving or have left, as you mentioned? Yeah, we should be alarmed about that. Absolutely, we should be alarmed about that. But what are you going to do about it? You can't make those women fuck them if they're not attracted to them. And what are you going to say? Well, I'm not trying to make these women do anything. If you're not trying to make these women do it, then what's the point? Why are you arguing? What are you talking about if you don't want to make them do anything? Well, I'm just saying it because they're the loudest ones scream. Motherfucker, they're the losers. Why do you pay attention to what a loser is saying? Why are you paying attention to what a loser is saying? And here's a hint. You think ratchets are whining about you? No, Ratchet is trying to find another one just like you she can con out of some money. She ain't even whining about you. She ain't even whining about you. She out there trying to she trying to hit a lick. She out there trying to come up. She ain't listening to you. She ain't listening to you. She out there trying to find another nigga just like you. Because the truth is that while you talk all this shit on here about these ratchets, You or somebody just like you will be in her inbox after she put up her latest twerk video. You're going to be in her inbox talking about how fine she is. You're going to come in and you're going to turn a trick with her, even if it is for $75. That's why she's not whining about you. A ratchet is a real true to the game ratchet is somewhere trying to hit a lick. She ain't listening to you. She care less what you think. What she won't do, and that's what you're upset about. A ratchet is not going to let you stand in her face and drag her. You can't stand in her face and want to drag her publicly. And no one is going to let you humiliate them just because you got a job. No one is going to let you humiliate them just because you have a 725 credit score. No one is going to let you humiliate them just because, you have a bank account. Get out of here with this shit. Are you serious? He said, why does it go back to the ratchets? It goes back to the ratchets because that's who you're talking about. It goes back to the ratchets because that's what the conversation is about. The conversation has always been about ratchets because the ratchets are the one complaining. The girl that's in the Division 1 school, the girl that's in the top 10 Ivy League schools, she ain't complaining about shit. And let me tell you why she ain't complaining about shit. The girl that's in the top 10 Ivy League school has been co-opted in feminist ideology. The girl in the top 10 school ain't even checking for you. She checking for a white dude. See, that's a part of the game that they ain't telling you either. A lot of these women at the top 10 Ivy League schools, they're already defecting from the black community. They ain't even in your range. They don't even want shit to do with you. They're looking for the corporate executive. They're looking for the investment banker. They're looking for the mortgage broker. They're looking for the guy on Wall Street. They're looking for the actuarial analysis. They're looking for the insurance underwriter. That's the guy they're looking for, the dentist, the podiatrist. They're not looking for you. They're not looking for you. So you can't be talking about that woman because she ain't checking for you. She's not. Now, what she will do, I'll give you this. If she comes back, she will double down and she will get her a Jody. She will get her a Tavion. She will get her a Jamarcus. She will get her a Devontae, but she gonna keep that nigga on the down low. She ain't gonna take that nigga out in public. She ain't gonna take that nigga to an office function. She ain't gonna take him around her colleagues. So yeah, she'll go swing an episode with that nigga on the down low, but she ain't gonna be seen with him in broad daylight. So let me make this clear for you. The women in the Ivy League institutions sound like Crystal and Karazin. That's who are in the Ivy League colleges. They're not checking for you anyway. They're not. Somebody going somewhere. These niggas won't even give away free likes. You too cheap to give away a free like. And you talking about a passport. Fuck out of here with that. Why does it go back to the ratchets? Because that's who y'all been talking about. This whole conversation ain't been about none but ratchets. For the past, even with April Mason, it was about ratchets. Y'all spent 2 weeks on a damn ratchet. She told you she was a ratchet, but you're surprised by the actions of a ratchet. So don't ask me why does it always come back to ratchets. I'm just the only one honest enough to say what it's about. Ask all these other niggas that's out here talking about the conduct and behavior of black women. And then ask them what kind of black woman are they talking about. They're talking about the working class black woman. They're talking about the working poor black woman. They're talking about that ratchet sector of black women. Because I'm sorry, To these niggas, the ratchets, to the niggas that don't have experience with women, the ratchets are the most attractive, but they ain't ready. They ain't cut out. They ain't built for everything that comes with dealing with those ratchets. They ain't cut out for that. They ain't cut out for all the shit that come with her. They just want to sleep with her. And again, that's why she's charging you. That's why you have to pay for her. That's why she won't let you smash for free. Because another nigga just like you got her pregnant and bounced. Another nigga just like you came to her with the same shit you coming to her with. You came to her with a prayer and a dream, and you got her pregnant, and then when she missed her cycle, you were out the door. The last nigga, the last baby daddy said the same shit you said. He ran the same game. So you ask me, why does it always come back down to ratchets? Because that's what y'all niggas like, and that's what you talking about. But you don't have the balls to say it. So you think you can obscure that point if you punctuate it with empirical data and research, but you're talking about ratchets. We all know that that's what this discussion is about. That's what it's always been about. You want to politicize the needs of your dick. You want to make your personal problems political. That's what this is about. And that doesn't engender, that doesn't command anybody's respect. It only commands the respect of other Negroes like you. So those losers you call, since we always talking about black vagina vision, do you think Oprah is afraid of you? Really? Do you think Essence Magazine is afraid of you? No. No, they're not. They're not afraid of you because you're harmless. You're harmless. You're just going to scream on YouTube. You're not going to do anything. You're harmless. Matter of fact, a, a stud has more aggression than you. You're not going to do anything. You know it. And you think that yelling and screaming in somebody's face makes you masculine. It doesn't. It makes you look emotional. It makes you look weak. And then you wonder why they would rather lick on a woman. Because licking on a woman and getting banged by a stud with a strap on is better than being fucked by you. That's why. So scream, holler, do all that shit you want to do. You're harmless. You're not going to do anything to anybody. You're not going to do anything. You're not. You're not. Well, I take that back. Some of them, some of your some of the more uh psychotic of your ilk may go out and stalk a bitch. You may go out and stab one. You may go out and shoot one. So some of y'all are dangerous. The most isolated ones of you are dangerous. But that doesn't mean anything. What is he saying now? Oprah is paying attention. She got major backlash from millennial blacks for that MJ documentary. It had nothing to do with black men. That had to do with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has more power dead than you do alive. Michael Jackson can clap back from the grave, and you have to clap back from YouTube. And he's more effective dead than you are on social media. So that's not a clap back from millennial. That's a clap back from a man that is an institution. Oprah respects 50 more than she respects a rich Pookie. She respects a rich Pookie more than she respects you. I'm sorry. The truth is the truth. I'm sorry if you don't like it. This is how I see it. This is how I see it. And I don't give a damn about who doesn't like it. I don't care. I'm not here to be popular. That's what y'all missing. I'm not concerned about popularity. I don't give a damn about popularity. I never did. I don't care about, I really don't care about popularity. That's these other, your other gods and your other daddies care about your popularity. I popularity. I could care less. Kwame says, Tony Maceo, what's the natural mate for these brothers you talking about? I already told you, hood rats. Hood rats is their ceiling. That's the problem. The hood rats are their ceiling. The working class, working poor, that's their ceiling. The working class work, it's that same pool that they're complaining about. The hood rats is their ceiling. But because there's no collective economic power in the black community, you have no authority to do right. Excuse me. You have to enforce their compliance or their obedience. That's why. Mr. Plex says Tasha wants more than 75. That's not power tricking. You give whatever, mine is 75. You give whatever yours is. It could be 100, it could be 200, it could be a couple stacks, whatever it is, it's yours. Whatever it is, it's yours. I don't know where my super chat is, brother. I got my links up there. Everybody up there, my cash, my Patreon, that's my super chat right there. That's my super chat. If you want to support me, go to those links. So there's no excuse. If you want to support, support. But don't sit here and ask me, well, where it's here. It's in the links. It's in the links. It's there. The Democratic Party is paying attention to the black manosphere. Check out the article I posted in. I can't even see the article you posted in the chat. But here's what I will do. Send that article to wayofstrategy44@gmail.com, wayofstrategy44@gmail.com. Once again, that is wayofstrategy44@gmail.com, and I'll read your article on the air and I'll see if you have a point. Because see, and that's another thing what these niggas do on YouTube. I'm seeing these niggas in our so-called arguments and debates and make up statistics. 88% and 68%. That happened to me on another YouTuber's channel where he had a bunch of niggas in there. He had a bunch of clapping seals in there, and they were making up statistics that weren't real just to disprove. Well, niggas do that shit too. 68%. And then when you actually go and check behind them, it's nothing like what they say. They're just using statistics to try to sound authoritative and credible. They love doing that. Send your article, bro, and I'll read it. The Democratic Party is through with you. I'm going to tell you what they won't tell you. They're done with you. And I'm going to tell you why they're done with you. Because you didn't put that bull dagger looking white woman in the White House. When you didn't deliver that bulldog looking white woman into the White House, when y'all didn't put that dyke in, y'all were finished. You're done. They don't care about you. When you didn't deliver and put Hillary Clinton in the White House, they were done with you. They're going to start pulling back from you. You know who they're going to start courting? They're going to start courting the white male working class. They're done with you. Now, don't get me wrong. They'll still court your support for local and municipal and state elections. They'll court you there. But on a federal level, they're done with you. You can forget about it. That's exactly right. Anti-gravities, they're replacing the black vote with the Latino vote. That's right. They're done with you. I wrote an article on this, what, a year ago? Over a year ago, was on the Negro Manosphere called The Party's Over. And I also wrote an article that I told y'all that Donald Trump was going to beat Hillary Clinton before the election. It's called I think it was Maud versus Archie, or that may have been on my site or whatever. But the Democratic Party's done with you. They're finished. You're finished. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And what difference does it make? They've been neglecting your ass for 50 years. The Democratic Party has been neglecting the black community for the last 50 years. What the hell? What they give a damn about you for now? What they care about now? What they care about you for now? They've been neglecting you for 50 years. You know what they do? They give you a little bit of entertainment. They come and dance with you on stage. This is what Roland Martin hit me about. Roland Martin hit me about because I called him a Democratic Party shield. He sent me an email and said he wasn't a Democratic Party shield. The hell you wasn't. The hell he isn't. They're done with you. And you can rest assured that if they give the Democratic Party to black folks, they will have no authority. Golden handcuff syndrome. You're going to have a fancy title, but you ain't going to have no authority. The same trick they've been running on niggas since Reconstruction. Renaissance Man says Tony, Hillary Clinton losing had nothing to do with black people not voting. Hillary Clinton was a bad candidate. She never made one trip out to Wisconsin. Obama pointed this out. Here's the fact, dude. What you're saying is correct. But the fact that 13% of black men voted for Donald Trump, that is counted against black people. That is counted against black people. You could not deliver. That's what they look at. The fact that you could not deliver. And they got out there and see, the one thing you have to admire about these Tea Party motherfuckers, every time you show up at the post office, they're gonna be there. Every time you go to the BMV, they're gonna be there. They're going to get out in the streets and beat these communities, beat their. They're going to go out and they're going to wear out their shoes. They're going to beat these communities. They're going to get that vote out. They're going to organize, even though they know you're going to tell them to go fuck themselves. Even though they know you're going to tell them to get lost, they're going to get out there in those streets and they are going to organize. I said, send it to me. I said, send it to me. I didn't say posted it. I don't know who you are. Posted it twice. I don't know who you are. See, this is what I mean by command respect and demand respect. You don't command my respect. I don't have a history with you. I don't know who you are. Therefore, I asked you to send it to my email. You cannot demand that I Google your fucking article and I don't know who you are. You can't command my respect. You picked the wrong person to throw shade with, dude. And you picked the wrong day to throw shade. You picked the wrong day to throw shade. I'm checking out your article now, sir. I have your article here. and I'm checking it out. I'm checking it out. I have your article here. I'm checking it out. So give me a moment to peruse, will you? And let's see if what you're saying is factual. Okay, you were talking to Renaissance man. Okay. Then okay. Then I back that comment up. Then I back it up. That's one thing I don't let people come in my house and clap me in my house. I don't let people come in my house and clap me in my house, and I don't let them come in my house and clap my guests. That won't happen. So let me look at this here. I'm still going through your article that you sent me, so please bear with me momentarily. All right. I went through I went through this article you sent me, and they don't even mention the word black in this damn article. They don't even mention the word black in this article. What they're talking about is the chaos voter. Are you trying to say that black men or the black manosphere is the chaotic voter or the chaos? Because it don't mention shit in here about the black manosphere. It don't mention shit in here about the black male voting base. It doesn't mention one damn word in this. See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean with niggas that love to get on the internet and argue. They love to get on social media and argue. And then when you ask them to put up their evidence and you peruse their evidence, it doesn't have a damn thing to do with what they're talking about. But because they throw a statistic into an argument and because they're eloquent, look, I get it. People listen to people that are passionate about their argument. You guys are listening to me now. I get it. But stop being swayed by the eloquence of a person and look into the claims. That's why when some nigga told me on another channel, well, when they said, well, the black marital rate was higher, after slavery up until the 1960s, and well, that 85% got married and 85% got divorced. Now that's a motherfucking statistical impossibility. But I had a so-called learned motherfucker trying to tell me something about walking divorces, and then when I looked it up, it was nothing like what he said. You guys are they're not even you hear the term smart dummies. These are not smart dummies. In the words of the great Fred Sanford, these are just plain old dummies. But they know how to yell, they're fairly eloquent, and they have a bit of sarcastic wit. So you guys place an overabundance of credibility in what they say on YouTube. There is nothing in this article that talks about anything related, not this article that you sent me. This doesn't even mention the word black in here. Do you want me to imply that chaotic voter means black? There's nothing in this Huffington Post article. I'm looking through it again. There's not a damn thing in here that talks about. And this is the problem with the arguments that a lot of the so-called intellectuals give. They give you this evidence And what they're doing is they're reading their own interpretation into the evidence and making a goddamn argument. And they'll say, well, the evidence substantiates what I'm saying. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's nothing in here that even the word black ain't even in this article. I'm looking through it again. 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 And the word black is not even in this article. The word black ain't in this article. So you sent me this article to say what? You sent me this article to say what? What did this article say? Actual, factual? What? What? Look, I'm gonna put this link in here. Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this link in here. If anybody can find in this article where they talk anything about, but please let me know. Please let me know. There it is. I just put it in here. I just put it in here. What's up, O'Shea? What's up? Just some nigga who wanted to come in here and thought he was gonna troll up my chat room today. That's who it is. I put this article in here today. I put this article in the chat. Now somebody go to that article. Because reading comprehension is apparently a problem. While most niggas are sitting here talking about you don't understand statistics and you don't understand math, it's apparent that some niggas don't even understand the idea of reading. They were never taught reading comprehension in grade school. The niggas that are talking that shit don't know or haven't been taught basic reading comprehension. You have to imply that that's what this article means. And your interpretation may be incorrect. This is the problem with a lot of these niggas' articles. Excuse me, a lot of these niggas' arguments. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem. I'm looking again. I'm looking again. I'm looking again. And there's nothing in this article. It talks about the chaotic voter, but it doesn't tell you who the chaotic voter is. It doesn't say anything in here about black. It doesn't say anything in here about black men. Okay. You know what? You know what? I'm done. I got some ham to go and eat. I got some cabbage and cornbread to go and eat. And I got to get my dick sucked. I don't have time to fuck around with y'all today with this petty shit. I came up here to give a shout out to my man, View from the Man Cave. Dude, I sent you an email. I sent you an email, bruh. Look at the email, my man, and figure out a time that we could get together and do a podcast. And I want to do it over on Genosha TV. I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it on Genosha TV. And let me know. Respond to my email, Doc, and let me know what the deal is. Cause I can't take this shit. I can't take this shit anymore. Uh, I'm done. I'm done. Let me see. What is it? What is this? She said, I'm attracted to Oka, but not my counterpart. Boyce Watkins, the same thing. Yes, Boyce Watkins love hood chicks. That's why he needs to be married. Boyce Watkins need protection from these hoes. Boyce Watkins don't belong in the streets. He belongs on the sidewalk. See, Boyce Watkins is the typical example of why you don't mess with hood rats. Because every woman he put his uh, arm around, has extorted him. And that's no shade on him. That just means he doesn't have any business dealing with hood rats. That's what that means. That's he's above his pay grade when he fucking with hood rats. He ain't got no business fucking with hood rats because they're gonna extort him. That's what I told you guys earlier when I said that when you dress up in front of these girls, you a rich trick. That's what Boyce Watkins was to a lot of these hood rats. He was a rich trick. He was a rich black trick. He's not to them from their perspective. He's not incredibly attractive. I'm just gonna call it out what it is. To them, he's not credibly attractive. He doesn't possess the type of body and appeal that they're looking for. So he's a rich trick. They don't see his value. So the only thing they would want from him would be his money. Is that wrong? That probably is wrong. I'm not saying what they're doing is right. I never said what they were doing was right. I'm just explaining to you why the hell they do it. The streets ain't for everybody, baby. That's why they made sidewalks. So with that being said, it's going on an hour and 40 minutes, and I'm about to get out of here. Enjoy the holiday season. Be good to yourself and be good to other people. Until next time, this is your boy saying respect isn't given, respect has to be earned. And if you don't have a resume, you can't command respect. You can't even demand respect. The only thing you can do is give a request, which may be summarily denied. And in my case, in the words of the late Tupac Shakur, I reject your deposit. I'm out of here.